Fleet. Everybody wants to know what it means.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you the story behind it because that's the easiest.
Yeah.
So when I first became the head coach, I was like, I was young and I wanted like a buzzword. I wanted like, hey, what are we gonna live by? And that first year that I was head coach, it was toughness. I was like, I wanted to be tough. And then after that first year, I was like, man, and I was like, we were really tough, but I don't think we were like tight enough as a team. So then we went to family. And then that third year, I was like, man, we really got to start preaching like the leadership. So I started, and I was like, man, I'm bouncing around to all these buzzwords and nothing's sticking. So I was like, I'm not an English guy, I'm a math teacher, but I was like, man, I'm going to make like an acronym that we can just kind of live by. So that's where I came up with Fleet, family, leadership, effort, attitude, and toughness.
There it is.
So yeah, you walk in, it's shoot, man. That's what I wore to school. That's what I
wore to school today. I like that.
You go, man.
I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot.
You come in. I mean, I'll tell you one time when you're down around this way and you're just, well, shoot, you're in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'll be home. I'll be home around Christmas though.
Sometime, man, when you're down around this and you just want to come hang out and shoot the crap and I'll show you our locker room. Our locker room, you walk in when we redesigned our locker room about 7 years ago, and it's all over the locker room. It's like on the walls, and it's just kind of everywhere in the program that's kind of usually I tell the kids, I say, if something's not going right, you can usually connect it back to one of those words. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because when I first took over down here at Cocoa Beach, that was my stepping stone to Florida Tech. All in was like my thing, you know what I mean? Like, and I went all in to just, be the meaning, you know what I mean? For everything, like everything we do, we're all in. And then I wanted to do the acronym for all in. But I didn't get to the acronym part before leaving, but I still live by all in though. You know what I mean? I think it just it has a lot of meaning. Because personally, if you're all in, if your teammates all in, if the coaching staff's all in, coaching staff knows if they're all in or not. You don't go to bed at night and you can't fool yourself whether you gave it your all that day. And as a team, if we're all in it together, accountability's there. And then, then you'd be the best you could be. So kind of all in was the thing that I kind of put in the locker room, and everybody touched it as we were running out and things like that. But yeah, I like Fleet. It's and ever since we started the home team, we've been seeing a lot of it, and people are like, what does Fleet mean? What does Fleet mean? So it's buzzing now, man. Your buzzword is definitely buzzing. So they'll get to see this tomorrow night when we air it, and they get to know what Fleet means. So it's definitely buzzing. Tough loss last week. I actually was, going back and forth between the Jefferson game and your game, and I saw that it was 26-20 pretty late, and you guys had a chance to take the lead, deep pass down the right side of the field, and just didn't connect, and that could have been absolutely huge. And I know you remember that play, but I mean, what was what was your thought, at that point in time? And then, after that, when things started to a little slip away, I mean, I'm sure you took some positivity out of it, even though it was a tough pill to swallow from that point forward.
Yeah, all due respect to Martinsburg, they're obviously one of the, I don't want to say one of, they're the top program in the state of West Virginia. So, you saw some positives just in the fact that, you're sitting there, like you said, 26-20, chance to take the lead, drop a touchdown pass, would have been really big for us. But, we take away, a lot of positives. Just, we fell down 2 touchdowns really early. We did not play well in the first quarter whatsoever. So, you fall down 2 touchdowns and, it really, we say to our kids a lot, anybody can do anything when it's easy. Who are you going to be when things get tough? Mm-hmm. So, a lot of adversity kind of hitting you there. And just for our kids to hang tight and to come back and to keep battling. I don't think, we didn't lead at any point in the game, but just, we kept kind of chipping away and kept chipping away and scoring, and then we let them score and then chip away and scoring. And so saw a lot of positives, just the fact that our kids kept battling and kept fighting. I think that drop touchdown was kind of like a deflator, like, oh man. I think the biggest deflator for us was giving up the 98-yard touchdown. It's just you get a good punt. We didn't play well. We really didn't play well in the first quarter and then the fourth quarter. And then that was kind of how we started. I don't know if that play was at the end of the third. It was either right at the end of the third or right at the start of the fourth, but just to pin them back, get a great punt, 2-yard line. You're thinking like, hey, like we got them now. We flipped that field position, and then for them to flip that, I think that was the biggest deflator. But definitely saw some good things. But at the same time, the final result's what you get putting in 4 quarters, and not pleased with that result.
Yeah, what was the message to the boys after the game?
Yeah, I mean, my message was really simple after the game. I said, you learn, you learn from your mistakes. One of the things that I say to the kids, well, I'll go back. I'm jumping around a little bit. My message was real simple. My message was, you can't change the past, and it's over now. And I told him, I said, unfortunately, that score that you go out there and look on that scoreboard, it's not going away. That's what the score was. And you can't change that. You can just change the future. So my message was really simple. I'm not going to yell and scream at you and tell you all the things that we did wrong. We know a lot of stuff we did wrong. You just got to press on to the future and grow and learn and get better. I'm really big on, everybody fails at some point. And we talk a lot about what's the difference between the failure and failing. I think people confuse the two. A failure is a person who constantly messes up and gives up and doesn't continue to go on. Failing, everybody in the world fails. I'm a big basketball fan, and I'm a diehard Michael Jordan fan. And you go back and watch some of Michael Jordan's stuff. He early on in his career, man, he failed a lot. He lost. He couldn't overcome the Pistons early on in his career, and then you grow and you learn from the things that you do wrong. So, we weren't failures, but at the same time we failed in what we wanted to do. So we got to learn from those mistakes and grow.
Yeah, for sure. So today's light day, party day for the Applemen. How was the week?
Yeah, we've had a really good week. We've had a really good, practice has been kind of upbeat and getting after it this week. A lot of focus with the kids. We've had some good film sessions. We've had some good reps on the field. Just kind of getting better at some things. So, I think any coach will tell you, you want to have those good practices. They give you that good feeling. I've been a part of bad practices, and you come off the field and you think like, oh man, like we're in trouble. But we've had a really good week of practice.
Good. What are the keys to the game for you guys, both sides of the ball? And clearly, I guess 3 phases for you guys for sure.
Yeah, I'm like one of those like new school / old school guys. Like I got a lot of new school in me that just with a lot of stuff, but then some of my football philosophies are old school, and I sound like coach's cliche, but honestly I go back to blocking and tackling, man. Like I think like I said, it sounds cliche-ish, but they got athletes, they got speed all over the place, and just like Martinsburg did, and if you don't tackle the speed, you can take a 5-yard pass and on the 5-yard pass on film, and then on a stat sheet it shows up as a 60 or 70-yard touchdown. So you got to tackle in space. At the same point, up front we got to block better. We got to run the ball a little bit better, and even when we pass the ball, we got to protect and keep Baden upright. So it sounds like an old cliche, but I think a lot of times you watch football games, really just you watch any game, NFL, college, or high school, you go back and it's about blocking and tackling.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure it's not a stranger to anybody, the quarterback situation over there. Does that make it harder to prepare for you guys, not really knowing, who to prepare for from a quarterback standpoint? Or do you just feel like, tendencies regardless to who's under center?
Yeah, I think, we haven't really, we talked to the kids about it. And I've heard rumor on the street is they're making the quarterback switch this week. I've heard that from some pretty reliable sources. So, that really hasn't changed anything we've done. I know Coach Hunter, and Coach Hunter knows me really well. We're good friends, and he's got tendencies. I know I got tendencies. So, every coach has got a tendency, and he's got things that, he's going to come out in a wrinkle. He's going to come out and give us something we probably haven't seen. But at the same time, he's got his stuff that he likes to do. And at the same time, nobody's going to come in and change their entire offense in a week. You got to, sometimes coaches worry about fooling the opponent, and then they end up coming back and fooling themselves. So Coach Hunter's a good coach, and he knows what he's doing. So he's not going to come in and change the entire game plan. He'll probably put in a few wrinkles here and there, but we're just kind of prepping what we got on film and kind of some stuff we know and they'd like to do in the past that, we think we'll see a little bit on Friday night.
Yeah, for sure. And pretty big, 1-1, both of you EPAC game. It's a pretty big game, man. Like, it's hard to downplay it. You know what I mean? I think the community feels the buzz. I mean, I know I do. And my brother will be calling the game. I know he'll feel it. So, he's been talking about it all week, and we've been promoting it like crazy. So I'm looking to see a packed house on both sides of the stands, and, some good smash mouth football. And I wish you guys the best.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, two communities that love football. And since I've been at Musselman, actually Coach Hunter and I talk about this. We got hired the same year. This is for both of us. This is our 10th year as the head coach at our schools. And probably, you say the word rivalry, and I think people automatically think hatred. And I don't think, between the schools, I don't really think there's a hatred. I respect what they've done and have a lot of respect for them. But I think as far as from a competitive standpoint, I think this has probably been our biggest rival that we've had since I've been the head coach. There's been some really, over the past 10 years, there've been some really good games. We, at the same time, we've whooped their butt a couple times pretty good, and then vice versa. They whooped our butt a couple times pretty good. So, I think it's a rivalry game from the standpoint of just two really respectable programs. I think it'll be a good game.